Okay, we got some other type of questions in the same model. So let me solve all these equations. And the first equation is 2 cos x minus root 3 is equal to 0. And we need to find the answer in the principal zone. That means we need to find the answers between 0 to 2 pi. So to solve it, we will go with the traditional method. 2 cos x minus root 3 is equal to 0. That means 2 cos x is equal to root 3. That means cos x is equal to root 3 by 2. Cos x is equal to root 3 by 2. And we know that cos is positive in two quadrants. One is in first quadrant and one is in quadrant 4. So let me find the answer in the first quadrant. So in first quadrant, the angles are straight away directly we can find. So cos is root 3 by 2 in cos 30 at 30 degrees. So cos gets cancelled, x is equal to 30 degrees. And also in quadrant 4, cos is positive. So I can write cos x as, instead of writing cos 30, I'll write cos 30 as some cos 360 minus 30. So that will become cos x is equal to cos 330. So cos gets cancelled, x is equal to 330. And if I want to represent these angles in terms of radians, I need to multiply with pi by 180. So that will make us this pi by 6 and this as 11 pi by 6. And we got one more question here. 2 sine square x minus 1 is equal to 0. That means 2 sine square x is equal to 1. That means sine square x is equal to 1 by... Okay. Sine x is equal to 1 by root 2. So that means sin x is positive in two quadrants. One is in first quadrant, another is in second quadrant. So in first quadrant, we can find the angle directly. So that means sin x is equal to sine 45. So x is equal to 45. The same way, in quadrant 2 also sine is positive. That means sin x is equal to, in quadrant 2, the nature of angle is 180 minus theta. So that will become sine 180 minus 45. So sin x is equal to sine 135. So sine gets cancelled, x is equal to 135. So the angle may be either pi by 4 or 3 pi by 4. Now we got one more question. 3 cosecant square x minus 4 is equal to 0. That means 3 cosecant square x is equal to 4. That means cosecant square x is equal to 4 by 3. And we know that cosecant is reciprocal of sine. That means if cosecant square x is equal to 4 by 3, that means sine square x is equal to 3 by 4. So if we take square root on both sides, that will become sine x is equal to root 3 by 2. And sine x is positive in two quadrants. One is in first quadrant and one is in second quadrant. In first quadrant, sine x is equal to root 3 by 2. I can write root 3 by 2 as some sine 60 degrees. So that will give us the angle as some 60 degrees. And if you want to convert in terms of radians, I can write it as some pi by 3. And even in second quadrant, the nature of angle is 180 minus theta. And second quadrant also sine is positive. So I will write sin x as sine 180 minus theta, where the angle is 60 degrees. So 180 minus 60. So that means sin x is equal to sine 120. So sin gets cancelled, x is equal to 120 degrees. So which is nothing but 2 pi by 3. And coming to one more question, root 2 cos theta minus 1 is equal to 0. That means root 2 cos theta is equal to 1. That means cos theta is equal to 1 by root 2, and cos is positive in two quadrants. One is in quadrant 1 and one is in quadrant 4. So cos theta is equal to 1 by root 2. That means cos theta is equal to cos 45. That means theta is equal to 45 degrees. Or if you know the angle, nature of the angle in fourth quadrant, it is 360 minus theta. So that will become cos theta is equal to cos 360 minus theta. So cos theta is equal to cos 315. So that means theta is equal to 315. So if you want to represent in terms of radians, we have to multiply it pi by 180. So that will become either pi by 4 or 40 by 7 jar is 315. That will become 7 pi by 4. Right. We got some other questions here. Still we got some 8 questions. So let me solve it. Yeah, sine square theta plus sine theta is equal to 0. That means though it is a quadratic equation, since there is no constant term here, no need to do factorization. Instead, we can take sine theta as common here. So if I take sine theta as common, I'll be left with one more sine theta here, and here sine theta times 1 is sine theta. So I got two factors. So that means either sine theta is equal to 0 or sine theta plus 1 is equal to 0. That means either sine theta is equal to 0 or sine theta is equal to minus 1. Now we know that sine theta is equal to 0 in between 0 to 2 pi. So sine theta is 0 at sine theta is equal to 0 degrees, at 180 degrees, and also at 360 degrees sine 0. And sine theta is equal to minus 1. So sine theta is negative in two quadrants. One is in third quadrant and one is in fourth quadrant. So in third quadrant, the angle nature of the angle is 180 plus theta. So I'll write it as sine theta is equal to sine 180 plus 0, because the principal angle, the main angle is starting with 0. So that means sine theta is equal to sine 180. Theta is equal to 180 degrees. Right? Okay, then 7 secant x minus 7 is equal to 0. That means 7 times secant x is equal to 7. Secant x is equal to 7 by 7. That means secant x is equal to 1. If secant x is equal to 1, we have to convert into primary ratio, and secant is nothing but reciprocal of cos. So if secant x is equal to 1, then cos x is definitely 1 by 1, which will become 1. And cos is positive in two quadrants. One is in first quadrant, another is in fourth quadrant. So in first quadrant, cos x will directly take it as cos 0 and x is equal to 0. And in the same way, in fourth quadrant, the nature of the angle is 360 minus theta, and here theta is 0. So we'll put cos x is equal to cos 360 minus 0. That means x is equal to 360 or 2 pi. And same type of questions we got here. Some more questions. So let me solve it. 3 sin x is equal to sin x plus 1. So if you send these two on that side, that will become 3 sin x minus sin x minus 1 is equal to 0. That means 2 sin x minus 1 is equal to 0. That means 2 sin x is equal to 1. That means sin x is equal to 1 by 2. If sin x is 1 by 2, so sin x is positive in two quadrants. One is in first quadrant, one is in second quadrant. So I can take it as sin 30, or in second quadrant, the nature of angle is sin 180 minus theta. So I can write it as sin 180 minus 30. So either x is equal to 30 or either sin x is equal to sin 150. So that means x is equal to 150. So either pi by 6 or 5 pi by 6. And we got one more equation here. Cosecant square x minus cosecant x minus 2 is equal to 0. Since this is a quadratic equation cosecant, it is more complex if you put as it is cosecant. So let me make it simple by substituting t in place of cosecant x. So let me substitute t as cosecant x. So for a short period of time, I'll substitute t. T square minus t minus 2 is equal to 0. This is nothing but a quadratic equation, and we know how to do factorization of quadratic equation. So first into last number, it will become minus 2. So the factors of minus 2 are 1 and 2. Since middle number is having minus symbol, that will become minus here and will become plus here. So that will become t square plus 1t minus 2t minus 2 is equal to 0. If you're having a problem in doing factorization, do it slowly, and we have some videos on how to do factorization. I'll send it to you. So then in first two terms I'll take t as common, that will become t into t plus 1. In second two terms I can take minus 2 as common, and that will give us t plus 1. So if we take t plus 1 as common here, t plus 1 into, and one more factor is t minus 2. So t plus 1 into t minus 2 is equal to 0. That means we substitute, we can, if we back substitute t as cosecant x, that means cosecant x plus 1 is equal to 0, and cosecant x minus 2 is equal to 0. That means cosecant x is equal to minus 1, and sin x is reciprocal of minus 1. That means sin 0 is 0, sin 90 is 1, and sin 270 is minus 1, because sin is negative in third quadrant and fourth quadrant, so it will become 180 plus theta, and theta is 90 here. So that will become sin x is equal to sin 270, and x is equal to 270. And here cosecant x is equal to 2, that means sin x will become 1 by 2. Sin is positive in first quadrant and second quadrant, so sin 30 and sin 180 minus 30, 150. So for both values of this value, and we get the answer here. In the same way, we got some type of questions here. Let me solve it. 2 cos square x minus cos x is equal to 0. That means 2 cos square x plus cos x is equal to 0. I can take cos x as common. So if I take cos x as common here, the only thing left is 2, and out of 2 cos square x, I have taken cos x as common, so one more cos x will be left here. So plus 1 is equal to 0. That means either cos x is equal to 0, or 2 cos x plus 1 is equal to 0. That means cos x is equal to minus 1 by 2. So cos x is either 0, or cos x is either minus 1 by 2. That means x is equal to 90, and cos x is 1 by 2 at cos minus 60. But the cos is negative in two quadrants. One is in second quadrant and in third quadrant. So I can write cos x as cos 180 minus 60. So cos x is equal to cos 120. So cos gets cancelled. X is equal to 120. Right, in the same way, cot square theta plus cot theta is equal to 0. That means let me take cot theta as common here. So cot theta, one cot theta is left here, plus 1 is equal to 0. That means cot theta is equal to 0, and cot theta plus 1 is equal to 0. If cot theta is 0, then tan theta is reciprocal of 0, which is 1 by 0. That means undefined. And if tan theta is undefined, that means theta is equal to 90, because tan 90 is undefined, and also tan 270. And cot theta plus 1 is equal to 0. That means cot theta is equal to minus 1, and tan theta is equal to reciprocal of that, 1 by minus 1. Even that is also minus 1. And if tan theta is equal to minus 1, that means tan theta is equal to minus tan 45. And tan theta is negative in two quadrants, and it is in second quadrant and also in fourth quadrant. So let me solve the second quadrant value. That will become tan 180 minus 45. So tan theta is equal to tan 135. So theta is equal to 135, which is nothing but 3 pi by 4. Right, root 3 cos x is equal to sin x. That means if we divide with cos x on both sides, so root 3 is equal to tan x. Tan x is equal to root 3. That means x is equal to either 60, or tan x is positive in third quadrant, and the nature of the angle in third quadrant is 180 plus theta, so that will become 180 plus 60. So that means x is equal to 240. So for x is equal to 60 or 240, tan x will become root 3. And this is very simple, and we have done this type of question earlier. So let me substitute cos x as some t. So that will become 2t square minus t minus 1. So this is a quadratic equation, and for solving quadratic equation by factorization, we need to obtain the product of first number into last number. So 2 into minus 1 is minus 2, and the factors of 2 are 1 into 2, and one should be positive, other should be negative. Since the symbol is negative, the big factor is negative, small factor is positive. So from first two terms you can take t as common, that will become 2t plus 1. Second two terms you can take 1 as common, 2t plus 1. So that means t minus 1 into 2t plus 1 is equal to 0. That means either t is equal to 1 or 2t plus 1 is equal to 0. That means t is equal to minus 1 by 2 or t is equal to 1. But t is cos x. So cos x is equal to 1 is at x is equal to 0 or 180. And cos x is equal to minus 1 by 2. That means at x is equal to cos x is negative in quadrant 2. So 180 minus 60 is 120 or 180 plus 60 is 240. So in this way we'll solve all the problems which are involving trigonometric ratios in algebraic equations, right? Thank you.